So 2023 has been and gone. Let's take a look at what's coming to M4J in 2024. Roll new intro. Hey everyone, it's M4J here and welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different this time. I'm not going to be playing any games or anything like that. I'm just going to be wrapping up what happened in 2023 and starting to talk a little bit more about what's going to come in this year, 2024, which seems really weird to say. But luckily in my day job I get to write 2024 quite a lot at the moment, so I've got quite used to the fact that we're now in a new year. Reasons for this video. I've got a whole list of things here, by the way. And I'm going to mention something in a second which is quite prevalent to the video, and also will explain why there might be several cuts during this video. I have prepped, believe it or not, for this video, but there are also going to be lots of bits where I'm like talking off the top of my head, so if I get something wrong or anything like that, I do apologise. So yeah, 2023 ended with a bit of a whimper. I had a whole thing planned for the end of the year. I was going to do some streaming over Christmas and New Year. I was going to create a new batch of OpenTTD tutorials, more on that in a second. And then unfortunately I caught COVID just before Christmas, literally 4 days, I think it was, 4 or 5 days before Christmas. I caught COVID, which not ideal. And it did mean couldn't work, couldn't do anything really, which was, yeah, like I say, not ideal. I'm still not fully recovered, so that's why the coughing fits might ensue. And yeah, videos, I'm basically planning on not doing any videos other than this one throughout January. So videos will pick up again in February once I've fully recovered, hopefully fully recovered, touch wood. It was originally going to be I'll start again in a week or two's time, but yeah, I think I need a break and yeah, just put my feet up and not have to worry. Plus it's my birthday later this month, and who wants to work on their birthday? So yeah, I wanted to wrap up the year of 2023, introduce some changes that are coming for 2024, some of which I've already discussed on the Discord, so if you're a member there, you'll have seen them. You may have also noticed some other little changes and things like that. My Patreon's received a little refresher. Hopefully I'll remember to talk about that in a little bit as well. The website's getting overhauled, and other little teeny tiny changes that you may have already seen, like the new intro. I don't know why I point up when I do that, but yeah. 2023 was the best year of the channel to date. It was the 10th anniversary, so that was always good. But in terms of viewership, sub count, watch hours, everything was massive improvement from 2022, which I also thought was a good year. And by far the best year was 2023. So I'm really happy about that. The OpenTTD tutorial series, which technically started in 2022 but carried over into last year, that was the biggest success. The M4J network returning was a close second. And also the launch of Summerset MTR, which was actually my personal favourite series to record last year. I really enjoyed doing Blue Veil as well. But ultimately Summerset MTR, getting to play Minecraft again, any excuse as far as I'm concerned. But the MTR mod is so cool. Even now, the updates that are coming to it for the next big patch look really, really cool. And I've put here something new while sticking to what I'm best at. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's basically 3D OpenTTD when you think about it. Running a rail network, but actually getting to build the stations and plan little things out, like here's where the escalators go, here's where the elevators go. Staircases, you know, mezzanine floors. And I mean, I love a good mezzanine. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good mezzanine. So those are the good things. Bad thing, there's only one really. 2023 was meant to be a year that I started doing new things on the channel. Most of them I wasn't able to do in the end for various reasons. Time constraints, resource constraints, all that stuff. But because it's been 12 months since I came up with some of them, I've had time to sort of think about how best to do them. And I've come up with some new ideas. So some of the ideas have been moved to this year instead. And you'll see those across the channel. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. The same old content that you know and love isn't going anywhere. It's just I wanted to try some new things and see what sticks, basically. So yeah, that's the reason for the video. Now let's start talking about individual series. So first up, let's talk about OpenTTD and the M4J network, or the new M4J network. So the first thing that I want to do this year is get the M4J network server established. I want to get it up online. I want to get people on. Particularly patrons, channel members, all that kind of thing. We're going to create server rules and vehicle order templates so people aren't faffing around trying to get, you know, timetables and things, because the way we're doing it, Master Trams and I have been working sort of hard. I think he's been working more than me, to be honest, on it over the last few months. And we've come up with some pretty cool ideas, some of which I'm going to introduce in the next OpenTTD video, or at least the next M4J network video. And then patrons, channel members can all come on the server and actually start running their franchises themselves. Because at the moment, I was going to say I run it on your behalf, but I don't really, because I think the only one that's running at the moment is George's bus franchise. And even then, it's very skeleton right now. Getting you guys on to actually do things yourself is the good idea, I feel. And actually having the ability to be able to join the game at any point in time. So it won't just be up for like 6 hours a day. It will literally be up from morning till night, and you can join whenever you like, wherever you are in the world, and hopefully everything will work properly. Alongside the M4J network, I've also got the tutorial series. I have 5 more tutorial episodes planned. 2 of them, they're kind of follow-ons from previous ones. And annoyingly, actually, and this is no one's fault, but one of the subjects that I had planned was very recently covered by Master Hellish in a video. In fact, 3 days ago, I think it was, at the time of recording. He uploaded his station and signaling tutorial, which was what I had planned. So I've kind of split it now into signals and stations. Those are 2. I've also got one on conditional orders. I've got one on how to signal stations still, but it's going to be a little bit down the way so I don't get accused of copying. And I have another one, which I could probably look up right now, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's probably going to be the last one that goes up anyway, so it's not a massive deal. Going back to the M4J network, getting trains running is the priority as well. So the plan at the moment is to get the high-speed network running first. Master Trams has created the SRTs, although, again, my fault, they need tweaking again slightly. But the plan is to get that running first, then the Transrapid, and then the Heritage Railways, because I feel like those would be somewhat easy, given that they are literally just, you know, an out and back line. The Heritage Railways also include the Blue Lagoon, which you may recall is the narrow gauge railway up in the north, and then the Mount Pleasant, which is in the northwest. If you download the map off the website, link in the description down below, you'll be able to see for yourselves. One thing to note, the plan is to not upload the tutorials until all 5 are done, and then schedule them out. I was going to do one a month, but it might end up being once a fortnight, depending on how quick I can come up with more ideas. But once a month I think could be good, because that takes us from now until June, so that's half the year covered. The videos may be patchy. M4J network especially, videos may be patchy. The reason being is getting trains running takes a long time now in OpenTTD with the system that we use. Literally every service is timed. So Master Trams very kindly, he sets up the service with the rolling stock and everything that I've told him to do. He then times how long it takes, mostly using the timetable I imagine, but I think he times it manually as well. And then he creates what's called an SRT, which is section running times, which is a document that literally documents how long it takes to run between each section of the line. So whether it's a waypoint, I think key landmarks as well on the line, stations, all that sort of thing, it's all timed to the second, to the tick, in fact, which is incredibly detailed. And then from that, you know exactly how long it takes for a train to run from A to B, and therefore you can build your timetable accurately. As you can imagine, this takes time. When you've got something like the high speed and you've got 6 different services running, which I think is about half what we actually have, it takes a long time to plan it all out. And actually, even what I've been doing behind the scenes, I've been playing the game for the last couple of weeks, trying to fix things like trams, buses, aircraft, ships, all that kind of thing, using this new system that we've got, which I really can't wait to tell you about because it works and it's really freaking cool. Even that takes literally a day to do a series of bus lines. So videos may be patchy throughout the year. It might be you get 4 episodes in one go, across 4 weeks, and then there might be a gap of like 2 months, and then there might be another 3 episodes, and then a gap of 3 months, whatever it might be. Just know the series isn't gone anywhere, it's just I've run out of content. But ultimately, yeah, the series is going to be coming back in the new year. Both the M4J network and the tutorial series I've got stuff planned for, and hopefully you guys find it enjoyable, because it's the most watched series on the channel by far. Both the M4J network and the tutorials last year got more views than some of my videos have in 10 years. So I'm pretty happy about that. And also, I enjoy playing the game, so there's no reason for it to go away. So yeah, OpenTTD is once again going to be the flagship game of the channel. On to the next one then, and it's Summerset MTR. Now, like I said, this is my favourite series at the moment on the channel. It's actually one of the ones where, and this might sound big-headed, I do actually go back and rewatch some of my videos in this one, just to see how good they look from your point of view, because when I'm doing it, obviously I'm seeing it through the same viewpoint as what you then see in the video, but I'm not exactly watching it as a viewer whilst I'm building. So it's quite interesting to actually go back and watch it. And also I might say things like, oh, next time I'm going to do this, and then by the time I come to record it 3 weeks later, I've forgotten. So sometimes I rewatch it and I like it. I really like the mix. I like the whole, you know, I've built this off camera, here's the tour, and then today we're going to build this, and here's the time lapse with the music and the animations. And yeah, Minecraft is just a fun game anyway. And when you combine it with everything else, in my opinion at least, I think it's really, really good. But, you know, you guys are the judge at the end of the day. The series has dropped a little bit in terms of interest, but I think that's mainly my fault. And again, I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I do have plans for what I want to achieve with Summerset MTR in 2024. So in terms of building, I want to get the main light rail loop line complete. So that's the one that we've been building so far. Currently it runs from Woodbridge to Waterhill Road, but eventually it will carry on extending around. It will meet up with Master Trams's line up in the north, and then it will run through one of the city centre stations, and it will form a complete loop. And then there'll be different branch lines that join and converge and all that sort of thing. Build the first city centre station. Funny enough, I'd like to achieve that too. So that includes all platforms, including ones for lines that may or may not yet exist, the concourses and the retail units. Now, funnily enough, RM Transit has just done a video on Berlin Hauptbahnhof station, which is very convenient because that's what I wanted to use as inspiration. So I can actually go watch that and get a good look at the inside and outside of the station. It's a really cool looking station. If you've not seen it before, do look it up. It's an incredible building. There is actually a version of it in OpenTTD as well if you download one of the new GRFs, which I can't remember which one it is right now. I think it's European Stations or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I want to get that done. That's definitely a priority. That will probably be more towards the summer, that bit. And right now, the priority really is the loop line, and I'm going to leave gaps where stations will eventually go. So there might just be a random piece of straight track. And then it will curve off in a direction again, and that will be where platforms will end up going. But right now I want to get the line in place and actually have trains running, and then in the future add infill stations, as they're called, and then reroute the trains to stop at those as well. So that's the plan there. I've also put here, carry on flexing my creative muscles by designing and building various functional buildings around the city. So things like the spiral, which actually still isn't finished because again, COVID couldn't actually play the game. I haven't played a game properly, apart from in the day job, since the end of November. That's crazy when you think about it. But I had loads of videos recorded for this channel already. So they went up at the beginning of December. And then just as I was about to start recording again, couldn't. So yeah, more buildings like the spiral. I've already got some plans for Woodbridge and how it's going to look. Master Trams is going to help with some of the aesthetic side of things. So I'm good at building certain buildings, and I've noticed he's been watching a lot of videos for how to make buildings look good. So we're going to sort of collaborate a little bit on that as well. If you check out my Patreon, again, link in the description, you'll see the various tiers that you can be on the server depending on how much you pledge. And he's top tier, so he's an advanced architect, so he can help me out with lots of different things. And then this is the interesting one. Attempt to establish an economy. Job. Pay emeralds buy MTR tickets so that you can travel around the city. So you might live in Woodbridge, say, but you might work at Summerset Place. So you can get the train to work every day, do your job, and by day, I mean like, I don't know, 20-minute cycle. Get paid some emeralds, you can then come back. And it's not just a case of being able to buy train tickets, it's also those emeralds can then buy furniture or food for your character, whatever it might be. I want to make this a functional city. This is something I've talked about before. with the Old Guard City project. I want to build a city in Minecraft that is fully functional. You have to work for a living, you get paid, you then take that money and you can, you know, go do some leisure activities, go play a sport, go travel, whatever it might be. But you need to have that whole ecosystem in place. I don't want to take away from the fun. If people just want to come on, explore the server for 20 minutes and then log off again, that's fine. You can do that. I'm more than happy for people to do that. But if you kind of want to get into the more roleplay side of it, a bit like Second Life, if anyone ever played that, that's what I want to achieve with Summerset. And the series might get a rename as well to drop the MTR at that point and just call it Summerset. But we'll see. And then finally, get more patrons and channel members on the server. So again, check out the Patreon. I will get channel memberships set up. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And check out the tiers. If you see a tier that takes your fancy, then feel free to commit. Once you've been a patron for a month, you'll be able to redeem your tier rewards. So do check that out and come and join us on Summerset MTR. Finally then, in terms of talking about specific games, we have Cities Skylines II. I kind of hid my real thoughts on the game as I was playing it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I wasn't really enjoying playing Cities Skylines 2 in the state that it's currently in, or the state that it was currently in. To my knowledge, there's been quite a few updates now that have improved how the game runs. But basically, my old computer can't run it anymore. My PC it'll be 5 years old this summer, I think, so it is time for an upgrade. But it was struggling to run the game properly. There was lots of frame lag, which I know a lot of people were experiencing, but I really felt like it was hitting me pretty hard, arguably harder than most. The game's economy was all over the place, constantly hemorrhaging money in Lakebrook. The imports and exports system was broken, and traffic AI was all over the place, and yeah, it just wasn't particularly enjoyable. So I would like to try and run another series, either just before or just after the first DLC drops. To my knowledge, the DLC has been delayed because the priority was fixing some of the issues with the game. So I don't know how long it's going to be before that drops. I think just after would probably be preferable, but it depends because DLC has a habit of breaking games as well. So we'll see. And the plan is to basically do what I did with Blue Veil, which is head into the world, take a screenshot, put it into Illustrator and map out an entire city, basically, with towns and villages. Well, I say city, I've got here region. Towns and villages rather than a city. Road infrastructure, so like main A roads connecting everything up, and then motorways that take you out of the region, and a full transport network. So where's the train station going to go? Where's the bus station going to go? Varies possibly, because they're a little bit more realistic in the UK. But yeah, for the most part, I just wanted to build something that, not using sandbox mode, just use real money in the game, and try and build something that looks good, functions well, and is just fun to do. And I tried to do that with Lakebrook, and it felt like such a slog towards the end. The demand system as well was all over the place. Constantly getting demands for low density residential when really high density was the what people should have been asking for. But yeah, it is what it is. So I'm not done with Cities Skylines 2, but I think like most people, I'm done with it at the moment in its current state. So hopefully it'll get an improvement soon, and then we can jump back in and start playing again. But right now, until the first DLC drops, I think I'm just gonna let them fix some of the issues with the game, and then we'll see how it runs. So next up, we have other types of content that I would like to bring to the channel. Now, before anyone panics, this is all game-related content right now. I'm not going to suddenly, veer off and start doing sports commentary or anything like that. Nah, this is all going to be what's called editorial or commentary content, or at least what I've called editorial or commentary content. So my day job, I work for racing games. I'm a senior staff writer now, so I write lots of articles about lots of different games, all racing games. Previously, I was a content creator. I made videos for them. So basically, I would take the articles that someone else had written and turn it into a video script. I enjoyed that. It was very time consuming in the day job, which is why eventually it got moved away from it. But on the whole, I enjoyed doing that. So I would like to do some of that here. Cities Skylines is actually a very good example of a game that I would like to talk about. But instead of, ranting about Cities Skylines 2 in an OpenTTD video, I thought why not give it its own series. I want to do content talking about video games, much like I did on racing games. If you check out Racing Games GG on YouTube, you'll be able to find some of our work. 5 to 10 minute short videos talking about certain aspects of gaming. So it might be something like OpenTTD needs this feature, and I'll talk for 5-10 minutes about how shunting should be in the game or something like that. Likewise, some longer videos will focus more on in-depth topics. I've got some ideas already. I'm not going to give anything away right now. That's the plan, to do more content like that. But again, before anyone panics, I'm only aiming to do 3 to 4 of those this year. So literally maximum of 4 editorial videos. If they're short ones, great. If they're long ones, but 4. 1 or 2 to begin with, just to test how they go, what the style's like, because right now it's easy for me to say, oh, I'm going to edit a 10-minute video. It could be a case of it turns out to be a way bigger task than I thought, or no one's interested, or a mix of the both, in which case 1 or 2 might be all it ever is. But I would like to give it a go. Those of you who are interested in that sort of thing, do let me know in the comments down below, by the way. Hopefully it'll be for you guys as well. And then we can start off with 1 or 2, get some feedback, improve it, and hopefully make it work. Who knows? Higher production than normal content. Yeah, so I would like to get a new camera, this that you're seeing here. I avoided talking about it at the start, but it took me about an hour to get this camera set up over the last couple of days to try and make myself look nice and not laggy and blurry. And I don't even know right now, I'm looking at my preview, it doesn't look the worst. Higher content quality, sorry, is what I'm aiming for. So bits where I'm talking straight to camera like this. I want the microphone in a nice position. I want to not hit my desk while I'm gesticulating. I want probably a ring light behind the camera, a higher quality camera, maybe a 4K one, and yeah, just a different style. So it would be me reading a script for the most part, and then interspersing it with clips from the game that I'm talking about. There'll be music playing in the background, all that sort of thing. So like I say, if you're interested in that sort of thing, let me know. If there's any particular subjects that you'd like to see me talk about, let me know. I am only planning on doing 4. I've got 3 already sorted, but if there is anything else, we may stretch to 5. Who knows? But that's something I'd like to do, because I think it's something that I used to be very good at. You know, we built a channel with 12,000 subs in 2 years, so I'd like to say I'm pretty good at it. But kind of fell out of love with it a little bit, so I'm looking to get back into it and see how it goes. Alright, on to the penultimate section of the video then, and this one is about, I've got it listed as MISC/other games, so miscellaneous basically. First of all, the upload schedule, so no changes there. It's one of the only things that isn't actually getting changed this year. Mondays and Fridays will be the upload days. We'll talk about the times in a second. There may be bonus videos on Wednesdays, but literally that'll only happen if I've got like 5 videos and 4 slots. There'll just be a bonus video 1 week to make up the 5th. Otherwise, I'm pretty much enjoying the two days a week schedule. It didn't seem to hurt the watch time very much, so I'm pretty happy about that. The sub count went up. My overall enjoyment of running a YouTube channel went up. So why break what isn't? Why fix what isn't broken? Why break what isn't fixed? I was about to say that's a good one too. So yeah, Mondays, Fridays, bonus video on Wednesdays if there is one available. Upload time will remain as is as well. So that's literally 4:55 in the evening UK time, or afternoon. I suppose it's afternoon. 5 o'clock I think is the watershed between afternoon and evening, but I'm not going to get into that debate right now. If my analytics show otherwise, that will be the time. So what I did last year was I had a look at when my viewers were most often online, and between 4 and 5 was kind of the golden hour. Up to 6 PM there were lots of people online, but 5 PM was the one that really showed. So I upload just before that. So when you come online, you can see my video at the top of your subscriber list, hopefully. But if that time changes, then my time will change. It used to be 6 PM I uploaded. In fact, I think sometimes it was 8 PM. But I think I've fallen into a good rhythm right now, so there's no point in changing that. This year I want to get back into streaming. So I said I was going to do it Christmas and New Year. The idea being for those who needed something to do during that period, they can come and join me for a little bit. Obviously it didn't happen last year, but hopefully it will happen this year. maximum of 1 hour a week, which doesn't sound like much, but that's literally 1 day a week there will hopefully be a stream. And that's a maximum, so not going to go over it. You know, it might be 1 hour and 20 just while I do intros and outros and all that sort of thing, but I'm going to be really disciplined and keep it to 1 hour. Family time's important, de-stress time's important, and with work picking up for me personally, I don't want to be sat here till midnight streaming as well. It'll be random games, so it won't be, you know, suddenly OpenTTD is streamed again. It will literally be games that right now don't have dedicated series on the channel, and there may be a lot of multiplayer stuff as well. So Turbo Golf Racing is actually a very good example. Tom and I can play that for 1 hour, and if anyone wants to join who owns the game, they can do so. F1 Manager 2023, the series, I wanted to do a full season of the game, and for various reasons it didn't happen. I took a break for a little bit when City Skylines was released, and it was literally meant to just be a week, and it ended up being a month. I want to get back into it though, particularly before 2024 is released. I've put here series might be over unless streamed, so that could be one where it turns into a stream and we literally do one race a week. But yeah, I would like to get back into the game because it's surprisingly fun. It's also incredibly frustrating when your cars crash into each other and knock themselves out of the race, but when things are going good, which they very rarely do with Williams, but when they are going good, it's a very fun game to play. Big Ambitions is another one that I tried and stopped last year. I would like to get back into it. There's updates that have added more content, more businesses that you can run. I think the economy's had a little bit of a tweak as well. So that's a good one to get back into. And I've also got here Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. So, believe it or not, Planet Coaster ended 2 years ago, 3 years ago on the channel was the last video. I've actually been building off camera. Every now and then I'll hop on the game and I'll do something. So the RMC coaster that was at the back of the park, that's almost finished and ready to go now. The railroad around the outside of the park, that's been reconfigured, reprofiled. The Parisian area at the front of the park has had a bit of an overhaul and will continue to do so because I really don't like it. And it's similar with Planet Zoo. I hop on every now and then into Wild Realms and I tweak some things here and there and try and make it look a little bit nicer. Both games I'd like to get back into. Both games might need a better PC. So if I do get a new PC this year, that'll be the sign that these two games will be returning to the channel. Both of them are still incredibly popular. Frontier did an excellent job, and Frontier also made F1 Manager as well. So being able to play all three current Frontier titles, well, there's more than 3 current Frontier titles, but those are sort of the big 3. That would be really, really cool. Again though, like with OpenTTD, it's a bit time sensitive. Can't always do them, so there might be a batch of like 6 episodes and then there'll be a break. I'm really good at doing that with all my series, you might have noticed. But yeah, I'd like to get back into some of the older games as well, and that's definitely top of the list. And so we come to the final section of the video, which is production quality. Left this till last for a reason, mainly because I want you guys to comment and be like, oh no, you don't need to worry about that, everything's fine. But everyone's their biggest critic, and every time I watch back some of my videos, particularly like I said with Summerset MTR, I notice some things that I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't do that if I had another chance. I want to try and up the quality a bit more this year, and it might be little subtle things here and there. Trying to create more consistency, which will also then make videos easier to produce and quicker to produce. New graphics, so the outro has been on the channel for 2 months now, I think, at the time of recording this. I actually want to give it a little bit of spit and polish already. I want to make the bit where it goes from full screen to the little tiny insert. I want to make that animation a little bit smoother, but it's not quite as easy as that because there's like 3 levels of keyframes that I have to go and change. And then the new intro, which you saw make its debut in this video, that was a very, very long adventure trying to get that to work. I mean, I'll tell you an abridged version of that story. So I took my current logo, which has also seen a slight change, some of you might have noticed. I took that in a PNG format, turned it into an SVG, which is a scalable vector graphic, I think it stands for. Then imported that into Blender, turned it into a 3D object. Then once that was done, I had to turn it into a 3D animation, which I also did using Blender. Then I had to export the animation of the 3D spin, which I did as PNG files. So there were 260 frames, I think, in that video. So that's 260 individual PNG files that then had to be re-imported into Blender and turned into a video, which was then exported as a .mov file, I think it was, which was then imported into After Effects, combined with the 2D full logo with the white text, then a version of the logo with the white text cut out so you could see through it, and then I had to do the zoom out, fade into the 3D, do the full 360, fade back into the 2D logo, and then zoom in again. And the whole thing took 5 days. And I don't mean 5 days as in like I worked on it 2 hours in the evening. I mean literally it took 5 days to actually do it. I did it across 2 weekends. I think I've learned some valuable skills, and I think I could do it faster if I did it again. But my word, that was a nightmare sometimes. When things just weren't working properly, it was, oh, my head. Hopefully it's worth it though. Hopefully things look a little bit nicer and a bit cleaner. One of the things I hated with the old intro was the fact that it was constantly re-resolutioned. The one that I made on Blender for that, which was also a 3D animation, that was 1080, but then it got upscaled to 4K because I was making 4K videos at the time. And then I lost the original version. So then when I started doing 1080 again, I took the 4K version and then de-resed it back to 1080. So the quality was awful of that one, and it was all like blurry, and you could see little artifacts during the animation, whatever. So hopefully the new one is a little bit nicer. It's made in native 1080 with a high bit rate and a good frame rate, 60 FPS. I also kind of like the way it matches the music, but the original idea I had for it was slightly different, so you might see that change as well. And then, yeah, the outro I wanted to create a little bit differently as well. I also wanted to get the subscriber animations redone, but right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Again, the train one especially is still really good. The one where it like comes down from the top and then fades through the different things, that will be the first one to get redone if I do them. Website also getting overhauled, so there's going to be new pages for each of the current series on the channel. So OpenTTD has one already, but the tutorial series needs one. Summerset MTR is going to get one. If F1 Manager comes back, it will get one, but it won't be very extensive. There might just be one that says other series, and it will probably go on there. I've put here new font, but I think what I meant to say was new typeface. So I've still got the old AR Darling, which was the old thumbnail and logo font. But I want to replace that with the new one, which I think is called Old Typography or something like that. And an updated page design as well. So eagle-eyed viewers may have already noticed on the website that the background has changed. If you don't know what's changed about it, just go on there and sit there for about a minute and you'll see, and just stare at the page. I want to do more things like that. I want to create the margins differently and just tidy it up, make it look a little bit nicer. Give myself more space on each page to actually put blocks in and do some code blocks to make things look a little bit better. I was trying to overhaul it so that the latest upload, I wanted to create some code that actually pulled it off YouTube and then put it on the screen, because I use a widget for that currently, and it was more effort than it was worth, so that's going to stay the same. And then I've got here, we'll also look at video and audio quality. In my opinion, not much needs changing. I think the microphone still does a good job. The video quality, that's something to do with storage space, hard drive space. But I have a NAS now, so I might be able to store more stuff if I can afford the hard drives for it. So I might be able to record at a slightly higher bit rate, which means things, especially, again, Minecraft OpenTTD, should look less fuzzy. Also with Minecraft, I want to get the replay mod, which does involve taking down the server, switching it over to Fabric rather than Forge, which is what it's on now. And then I can use the replay mods. When I do build time lapses, you actually see it as a proper time lapse with the camera sort of swirling around me building the thing, rather than the first person view, which when you're going at ×5 speed can invoke motion sickness. Not much needs changing in my opinion, but if there is an opportunity to improve things, you know, if a really good quality microphone goes on sale, then I might look at that. The camera here is the main priority. That's the one I've already talked about. I've also got a pair of headphones here, or a headset, that I've had for over a year now, that I could use and actually wear when I'm recording so that you don't hear the game volume through the microphone. So I'll start doing that too, but it does cook my ears during the summer, which isn't very comfortable. But yeah, just little tweaks here and there. I don't want to mess around too much and end up making things worse, but if there's ever an opportunity to improve things, then of course I will do it. Now on to the important thing. So I talked about the upload schedule. The plan is 2 videos a week. That is the plan, Monday, Friday. But I'm not going to create episodes just to fill a slot. So I'm not going to hop on OpenTTD and force myself to record something just to fill a Friday slot, for example. Because I feel like that's the thing I did badly last year, was there were a lot of episodes where I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna do this today, and I'm literally making it up as I'm recording. Or just before I hit record, I'll quickly scan the map and be like, oh yeah, we could do some boat stuff today, I suppose. It's obvious. It's really obvious when the person making the video isn't really into it. So I'm not going to rush to produce any videos to fill a slot. If I can't think of something for that week, then I'll let you know. Best places to find out if there's a video or not is to either join the Discord or check the community tab on YouTube, because I always post on both if stuff is getting missed or skipped, or if things are changing. Just to keep everyone updated. Discord is definitely the best way of doing it, because we can then communicate. You know, I'll put something up, you might reply, and so on and so forth. I'm also going to try and use social media more. So Facebook and X, if we're calling it X. I might still call it Twitter from time to time. Facebook, I do have a Facebook page. I'm still trying to change the name of it. It's currently the old name of Jeffries, but it is me, believe me. That's a good place because I can post images, and again, people can reply. X is a bit of a no man's land right now, but if you just want short and sweet messages like no video today guys, here's why, that's a good place to go for that. Both of those I don't like for various reasons, so I do prefer Discord and the community tab. So if you want to hear directly from me, that's probably a better place to go, but yeah, it is what it is. Final thing then, so I talked earlier about editorial videos and how it's going to remain gaming related. There is actually a project that I'm going to start this year, hopefully, that I'm not going to give too much away on right now. But it will either be on this channel, but under its own dedicated thing, because it's not gaming related, or I will create a new channel, but with the M4J name still. So it'll be M4J _ and then the thing. The only clue I'm going to give as to what it is the news that Hatton's is closing down may become more problematic than I thought it would. And if you know what that means, then you'll know what I'm thinking. I will create some updates on that once the ball starts rolling. Plan is to start it in the spring for reasons that may be obvious to some who have just worked out what it is I'm talking about. But if not, I will keep you guys posted. It's a summer project, basically, while the weather's nice, and it'll carry on probably over the next couple of years, really, to get it all finished. And that's it. That's what's coming in 2024. Things may change, you know, certain games might suddenly become boring. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Other new games that are coming this year. I mean, I want to do some more racing game stuff on the channel, believe it or not. So Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is coming in the spring, and that looks like a really cool game, and it's actually a game that I've played in the past, just not on the channel. The original Test Drive Unlimited, that is. So that's a good one. I had thought about, you know, streaming Forza Motorsport or Forza Horizon 5 or the Crew, Motorfest, little things like that. It might not be something that you know me for, but it's something that I am known for over on racing games, so it's a possibility, but we'll see about that. If you've got any thoughts and feelings on what I've talked about here today, then let me know down below. Please do comment if you've got any thoughts. I know it can be quite daunting sometimes. You know, the internet can be quite a negative place, but I love putting these videos out and actually having people respond. That's one of the fun things about this job. So any thoughts at all? If there's any games you'd like to see me play, any suggestions for how to improve things, all that kind of stuff, let me know down below. It's always appreciated, and you never know, it might get used as well. So feel free, be honest. That's all I ask. Otherwise, thank you everybody who supported the channel throughout 2023. It was really awesome to get to 10 years. It was really, really awesome that we happened to hit monetization again around that time. But yeah, huge thanks to everyone who supported the channel. If you're just rewatching content over and over again to help with watch time, that's always appreciated. if you're sharing the content, if you have any forums or anything where you're allowed to post links and not spam, feel free to do that. If you're on any transport groups or that sort of thing, and you want to share the OpenTTD series, please do. Trust me, it's more than appreciated. I'm always very grateful when people share my stuff. I still get a little buzz when I go on Reddit and someone says they're inspired by the M4J network, and I'm just like, I didn't actually think it was that good, but thank you anyway. And yeah, just all my subscribers, Patreon supporters, people who've joined the Discord, people who've commented on videos, whatever it might be. You help me do what I do, and I'm very grateful for that. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this, then why not? You've heard what's coming now, so if that's your thing, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification, and turn on all notifications, and you'll never miss an upload, you'll never miss a stream. I should also say that the live streams will be on YouTube and Twitch. Now that you can stream on both simultaneously, I see no reason to stick to one platform or the other. So providing my PC lets me, I'd like to stream on both at the same time. Otherwise, yeah, hope you all had a good Christmas, New Year period, or happy holidays, depending on where you are in the world. Hopefully 2024 is a good year for us all as well. I'm very excited about what's coming up. Hopefully you all are as well. And yeah, I'm really bad at outros, as it turns out, particularly when I've got a camera pointing at me like this. Basically, thanks for watching. Have a good day, have a good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so before. If you have, thank you for your continued support. Comment down below with all your ideas. And until next time, I will see you soon.